crazy, mental, fast, wet at times. We went through the water splash. Just brilliant. Once it's 3, 2, 1, go, you're just in the zone and you're just completely unaware of what's going on around you. You're just on the job, and it's some experience.
Yeah, very difficult, of course. You know, I've never done the roads before, so trying to trust the notes isn't easy. But I have to say I get a good rhythm and leading now with 25 seconds, I think. So I'm very happy.
Yeah, it's been a tricky day. Haven't done anything too silly yet. Hopefully we can keep it that way. Steering rack's got a bit of an issue now, so we'll just see if we can rectify that.
Welcome to RAC Rally Report on day 2 of the Roger Albert Clark Rally. We're in mid-Wales and the crews that have made it to the end of this gruelling second day of competition have added another 74 miles to their tally. We've got 350 miles over 5 days, over 3 countries here on this year's Roger Albert Clark Rally, making it the biggest, longest, most challenging rally for over 30 years. Just let that sink in. We'll give you a full roundup of the leaderboard as it stands at the end of tonight, shortly in tonight's show. We'll also have our video diary from young Ocean, who we met at the town centre start in Carmarthen on Wednesday evening. Really looking forward to that. And we've got a full roundup of action as well, including some of our classes on the Roger Albert Clark Rally yet to come. First up though, let's take a look back at some of the action from yesterday on day 1 of the RAC Rally. The first day of the Roger Albert Clark Rally was an action-packed one then, with a number of key crews having their fair share of drama. One of the most notable early retirements will be Chris Meek, Noel O'Sullivan alongside, the pair having a number of issues, but it would become terminal in stage 6 with a fire in the engine. The pair would be going no further, clearly frustrated that their debut on the event would be cut short, but vowing to return. As we mentioned in last night's Rally Report show, it will be Ocean Bryce and Rodri Evans ending the day with that all-important lead. It would only be a single second of a gap, though, over Oliver Solberg and Elliot Edmondson, who'd closed things right up going into day 2, even with a bit of a scary moment in one of the stages. Marty McCormack and Barney Mitchell were showing their experience and keeping a level head, putting in some good times and sitting behind that battle at the front, knowing that this was a long event and there was plenty of time where anything could happen and he could get the hammer down when he needed. Paul Barrett and Gordon Noble will be cautious through the Walters stage at the end of the day, not least because Barrett rolled here on the previous edition of the Roger Albert Clark Rally. They were going well in 4th place, but just couldn't believe the pace at the top of the leaderboard. Jason Pritchard was visibly frustrated. He and Phil Clark were having a few small issues, a half spin causing them some lost time, not what they needed, ending the day in 5th place. Understandably, a fan favourite at this year's RAC Rally, and the sponsors of our live stream coverage, Seb Perez in that Amigos Stratos, with Darren McElhaney alongside, will be battling through a number of issues with the Italian sports car. The morning stages completed on 5 of the 6 cylinders. but that wasn't stopping them pushing, and it certainly wasn't making the car any less enjoyable to listen to. Behind the screaming Stratos would be the escort of Barry McKenna and James Fulton, only 8 seconds back from Perez by the end of the day. Former British historic rally champion Ben Friend got to the end of the first day in 8th place overall. It could have even been a place higher had it not been for a small half spin on the second stage of the day. Catherine McCourt and Liam Moynihan enjoyed a good test of the Escort on the recent Cambrian Rally and would be in the mix here as expected. 9th place was a good place to end the first day. And rounding out the top 10 would be James Ford, the highest placed of our Porsche runners at this stage, and looking good out there as well. We know what a Porsche 911 can do on the Roger Albert Clark Rally. Chris Ingram, sporting that Tony Pond moustache with Hannah McKillop alongside, was having a day of development in the new David Appleby Engineering TR7 V8. They would probably say hand on heart that it was a bit frustrating to this point, but the times when things were working looked incredibly good. They could certainly be in the mix if it wasn't for those niggling problems that you always get with a new build, and what a glorious sight. Let's take a quick look then at some of the categories and the Open Rally. Martin Linden and Rickard Forsell in that fantastic Volvo PV544 Sport were leading the way in Category 1. They have a very small lead though of only 2 seconds over the Anglia of Pete Stimson and Mark Butler. 3rd place in the category will be Paul Mankin and Graham Wild. They were only a minute back on the times as well in that position in the Cortina. In Category 2, it would be Robert Woodside and Dean Beckett leading the way in the Porsche. A good run so far, but it would only see them with a handful of seconds behind them. And that slim advantage would be over this pair, Mike Stewart and Sinclair Young. 8 seconds back on the leaderboard and looking to change that around on day 2 if they could come out of the blocks fighting. And for Ben and Stephen Smith, it will be 3rd place in the category. The Escort pair a further minute back on the times from the cars ahead, but leading the way in the C3 class. We must though mention a heroic performance from Adam Milner in that class, Roy Jarvis alongside in the Mark I Escort Mexico. They had problems early on in the rally, but would return, and we'll see more of them tomorrow. In the evocative Safari class, it would be the lead for the Porsche of Federico Polisi and Nicola Arena. Their lead was significant as well, mainly down to the misfortunes of others. One of those struggling was Frank Tundo and Alan Jones. They ended up with the car on a bank for a while, and as a result, their times were a long way off that category lead. In Category 4, or in the 90s, it would be the lead for Kev Proctor and Jamie Edwards. An accident on the recent Moulton Forest Rally not seeming to have affected their confidence at all. They'd have a few minutes lead over Darren Martin and Peter Johnson in that glorious looking and sounding Subaru Legacy. But as we know, a lead is nothing on a long event like the Roger Albert Clark. And 3rd place in the category, mixing up the variety, with James and Jack Brady in the Porsche 911. As you of course know by now, the rally also features an open rally for the non-historic cars, and just as it was in 2021, we'd see Neil Weaver and Jack Morton leading the way, pushing clearly on the stages to a lead of over 3 minutes by the end of the opening day. 2nd place in the open rally will be Brian Jardine and Declan Campbell. The Escort pair also with a good lead in that 2nd place themselves, but there's no backing off with 4 more days to go. That lead though would be over the Escort 1400 of Aaron Ricks and Abby Haycock. 1 minute back from that crew up ahead. There's a quick roundup then of some of our crews in the overall leaderboard and the class battles on day 1 of the Roger Albert Clark Rally. Before we head back to the Rally Report studio, here's a few more clips to get you excited as we go into the next few days of this epic and grueling rally. Well, I seem to remember on Wednesday in Carmarthen before the rally started that a number of our leading crews, and indeed crews right through the field, told me they had game plans. Pick your rally cliche. There's a long way to go. I'm not going to go flat out from the start. I'm going to pace myself. I'm going to take each day as it comes. We're on day 2 now, and a lot of those game plans have fallen by the wayside. But the good news for us is that we're getting to enjoy these battles unfolding, and that means that there's no need or any room for those kinds of strategies anymore. People have got to go flat out now, and we're seeing that into day 2. We'll have some highlights from the morning of today's second day in Wales coming up very shortly. But first, you may have seen in last night's show and on social media that, well, here at Special Stage and at the Roger Albert Clark Rally, we're all about inspiring the next generation, using history to inspire the future of our sport. So when we met young Ocean at the town centre start in Carmarthen on Wednesday night, and he told us that he wanted to be a rally presenter when he grew up, well, we thought we'd give him his shot now. So meet the newest member of our team. Here's the first of little Ocean's video diaries that he's going to be bringing us through the week here at the Roger Albert Clark Rally. I've been looking forward to seeing this.
Hello from Walters Arena. Ocean Price is going to win the rally because his car phone is going to be so fast because he's the fastest driver and he won Cardiff down the rally, and he's going to be so fast that nobody can even see him, and so the rally driver is going to be the best driver I think I've ever seen.
So Oshan, tell us how you've enjoyed day 1 of the Roger Albert Clark Rally 2023.
It was good. It was just Ocean Price going so fast where we were watching today. The weather was nice and it was good weather when we were coming towards you, and then suddenly it was raining.
Yeah, it started to rain tonight now, isn't it? Conditions started to change, but luckily all the top crews had gone through by that point. So your favourite to win the event, Oshan Price, is leading by 1 second. How did he impress you today?
It was just, I loved it. It was just like how the other cars didn't come, like car 1, car 2 didn't come past. I was like, so happy because Ocean Price was the first one to come past before the others because they came off.
Never mind, star of the future. I think you'll agree, Ocean is a star right now, and I'm looking forward to more of those video diaries as we go through the Roger Albert Clark Rally. Thank you so much, Ocean, for joining our Special Stage team this week, and I know you're having a ball at the side of the stages marshalling with your family, and that is what it's all about. It reminds me of how I got into this sport in the first place as well, and you know, you should be very grateful to your dad and your mum and the rest of your family for getting you into this sport, because rallying is a gift, and I'm certainly very grateful to my family for giving me it. Now, from one young star to another, and a man who not so long ago was featuring in our coverage behind the wheel of a rally car. Indeed, he was BTRDA Rally First champion. These days, well, he has a different hat to wear, and we caught up with Nick Carr at a management service by the side of the road yesterday to find out how that's going. We talk a lot about young rally stars, and rightly so. Behind me is Nick Carr. You may remember Nick from our BTRDA coverage when he won the BTRDA Rally First Series in his little IT at Spectrum Volkswagen Lupo. Remember that? Well, these days, Nick can more often be found under the bonnet of a car, running his company, Car Prep. Now, if you remember, on the Woodpecker, Richard Jordan and James Grattan Smith had a pretty nasty accident, smashing their Escort pretty badly, and Nick has had all on to get that car rebuilt and back out ready for the Roger Albert Clark Rally. Here they are in the lay-by in Wales on leg 1, waiting for Richard and James to come back in for a management service halt. So we're just going to spend a bit of time and just have a look at what goes on, and we'll catch up with the crew and with the service crew as well once that Escort is back out on the stages. There you go, Nick. The car's sorted, you've changed the tyres, you've had a word with the driver, the car's running nice, and it's off into the stages again.
Yeah, it's a relief. It's a relief. I think we need to get through today, make sure there's no issues, and yeah, to go from there. It's brand new. We only finished it a couple of, paint's still wet. So yeah, let's get through today and hope we can get to the end.
Goodness me, I was leaning on it. You probably got a bum print on the wet paint now. Look, we were talking about young rally stars at the beginning of this. You're someone who won the BTRDA Rally First Series. I know you love your rallying and you loved being inside a rally car, but here you are running what has now become not only a very successful business, a business that people are really talking about. And it's a great story. Now, you've got that car back, finished, looking immaculate.
Yeah, I mean, Richard was one of the first guys to put trust in us, so I wasn't going to let him down. You know, we'd have worked 24 hours a day every day if we had to get it ready for him. Yeah, you know, when people put trust like that in you, you've got to return it, haven't you?
What made you switch from rally driving to running car prep? I know you were already working with RSD.
Paul. No, everything. We had a good run. We tried the BRC. It wasn't really for us. It was, you know, it was way out of our league, money-wise. So yeah, I get a buzz out of this now. You know, I enjoy this. Yeah, it's good. You know, I've got a great team around me. So yeah, I enjoy it. It fills the gap that I lost with competing. So no, I do enjoy it. It's hard, but it's rewarding when these guys are happy.
I can see you do, and it's really good to see. Isn't that good to see? Young rally star, whether they're behind the wheel or they're running these cars, and it's great to see Nick out and doing so well. Well done.
Cheers, mate. See you in a bit.
Fantastic to see Nick's business so successful, isn't it? Great story for rallying. Here's another good story for rallying, or at least for the Roger Albert Clark Rally. 2 days in, and we've already seen our fair share of attrition. We lost Chris Meek early on. We've lost Chris Ingram today in a TR7 V8. Gutted about that. And we lost Matthew Robinson and Sam Collis. They came here with fires in their bellies, and they wanted to fight for the win on this year's RAC Rally. That wasn't to be, and they took an early trip home yesterday. However, a car appeared on the tracker earlier, miles away from the stages. In fact, car number 10 appeared on the tracker on the M6 near Penrith. It turns out Matthew Robinson and Sam Collis are back in the game.
Roger Albert Clark 2023, not to be for car 10 unfortunately. Had a fairly steady start through stage 1, managed a 7th fastest time after finding it ridiculously slippy, but I'm sure everybody else did too. Went across the road into Sefton, and unfortunately about midway point there was a large bang, and that was it. We stopped side of the stage. Managed to get dragged out with a course closer, and decided it was fairly terminal. So that was the end of our bid for a win on this year's event. But then unfortunately not long after that, tragedy struck. We decided on a ready meal, and the microwave, which has been with us for 10 years now, unfortunately gave up the ghost. We just managed to get a hot pot for the sheriff, and the microwave threw its hand in. So all feeling very, very sombre, we decided to head back up to Ripon. We've had a little funeral yesterday evening, and we've had a day of remembrance today. Hitachi. So we've now decided, having fixed the car, we'll head up to Scotland. Got some great stages in front of us now, still 230 stage miles, still plenty of fun to be had, plenty of skids, full send.
Sam Collis really is rallying's answer to Peter Kay, isn't he? What a legend. The gaze of the motorsport world will be upon Robbo and Sambo tomorrow when they return to action on the RAC Rally. And they're really nailing their colours to the mast for the big one on Monday, that 33-mile punishing Pundershaw stage, because allegedly Matthew Robinson has told a few people that they might not be in contention to win the Roger Albert Clark Rally this year, but they'd quite like to win that stage on Monday. I think they'll have a battle on their hands, that is for sure. Talking of battles, we've had a few of those on the stages today, haven't we? We'll recap on the latest leaderboard standings very shortly, but first, here's a really quick recap of the action from this morning's stages here in Mid-Wales. The big news broke early for day 2 of the Roger Albert Clark Rally. The lead over the morning stages would change hands, with Oliver Solberg and Elliot Edmondson taking that lead now with a 13-second advantage at the front of the rally by the midpoint. So for the hard-charging Ocean Price and Rodri Evans, almost on home soil, it would be second. They were still on the pace and would, of course, be chasing that lead back down through the afternoon. And for three-time winners of this event, Martin McCormack and Barney Mitchell, there'd be no change. They remain in a strong third place, just a minute back from Price up ahead. No change to the top of the leaderboard in the Open Rally either. Neil Weaver and Jack Morton still lead the way over Brian Jardine and Declan Campbell in the Escort. We'll bring you a more detailed roundup of Day 2's action in the next edition of the Rally Report show tomorrow, where we'll take another look into the category runners once we've gathered in all of the footage from our hard-working and slightly cold camera crews. We'll bring you more action from this afternoon's stages here in Wales on Day 2 in tomorrow night's RAC Rally Report, along with some more action from our class battles as well. And we'll bring you some features of some of the more interesting or unique, shall we say, cars on this year's RAC Rally in the next few nights' shows. Looking forward to doing that. Here's a quick recap of the leaderboard as it stands. Oliver Solberg, Elliot Edmondson are now in the lead by 45 seconds at the end of stage 14. Ocean Price, Rodri Evans still hanging on in there in second place. Martin McCormack, Barney Mitchell in a bit of a chasing position. They're watching what's going on, but they're just managing their event as they know how to do as three-time winners in third place. Jason Pritchard fourth. Seb Perez is back on song in the Stratos in fifth place. Then it's Catherine McCourt, Ben Friend, and from there on in, the leaderboard gets a little closer as we go through the overall and the class leaderboards on the Roger Albert Clark Rally. We will bring you more action in tomorrow night's show, but for now, that's about all we've got time for. I just want to give you a really quick look at tomorrow's plan because we've got another 8 stages. We're going north to Scotland after we finish the show this evening. It's a long drive, 72 miles lie in wait for our crews tomorrow in Scotland in some grueling stages as well. We get underway with live coverage from 8:30 a.m. in A Forest. So make sure you get your coffee nice and early. Saturday morning, I bet you is going to be spent watching live rally coverage here at the Roger Albert Clark Rally. We can't wait for you to join us. I'm just going to leave you with a few photos that we've been sent in. You've been sending us your photos, your videos, and we've shared a WhatsApp number now on the social media channels for you to send your content directly to the RAC Rally Report studio. So please continue to do that. But something that's really captured our imagination. And this week, we weren't planning this, but it became all about future stars, didn't it? And young rally fans. And it reminded us why we got into rallying in the first place. So seeing you and your families and your children enjoying watching these programs and enjoying the magic of the RAC, which is very definitely back, isn't it? Has really captured our imagination. So here are a few photos that we've been sent in that we really like. I particularly like the photos of Cameron Rollinson and Fleur Rally Jenkins, what a name, walking to school and grabbing a few minutes of the live coverage before going to school while they're eating their cereals. Just photos like that just remind us why we do this. And we just want to thank you for giving us the mandate to bring you this live coverage. If you weren't loving this action and these programs and the live coverage through the day as much as you were, if you weren't telling the world about the Roger Albert Clark Rally, there wouldn't be any point in me being here, Phil Bramwell and Matt Cotton being out on the stages with me during the day. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you tomorrow live on air. And we'll be a bit tired, so if you could bring some coffee to A Forest for about 8:30, that would be lovely. See you tomorrow for more Roger Albert Clark Rally action.